So this is the Energy Challenge webinar, teaching you all about how to win the Energy Challenge at home, just saving energy tips at your home. So this is going to be going over various things that you can do to be a better person with saving energy and all that. So let's first start with about me. So I'm Jonathon Lewis. I'm a sustainability management policy major at IUPUI, and I'm an energy intern for the Office of Sustainability. So that's just a little bit about me. And now some of you might be wondering what the Energy Challenge is that I talked about in my title. So I'm just going to go over that right now. The Energy Challenge is an annual event on IUPUI's campus that was started actually at IU. And so what we have is buildings compete against each other to see which one of them can reduce their energy use the most over the course of 3 weeks. So usually we have this with residence halls as well as other buildings on campus to see which one can do the most. And so far that's gone well. We're looking to go into our 3rd year this year. And I should say, if you have any questions, we're going to have questions at the end, but if you have any questions, feel free to just chat me or message me that, and then I will get to them at the end. All right. Now, an introduction of this in general is that this presentation, as I said before, will share various tips for saving energy around your home, and some of which are versatile and can be applied to a multitude of different areas. The expected outcomes from this is that you'll be able to take away at least some of these energy saving tips and apply them to your own lifestyle. So hope you can learn something from this. But first, we got to ask ourselves, what is energy? So energy is electricity that is used to power our homes, our devices, our cars, and our society in general. Electricity is usually created by the burning of fossil fuels. An example of these would include coal, oil, and natural gas. And when they're burned, they release harmful chemicals into the atmosphere, such as CO2. However, there are other more renewable energy sources, such as nuclear power and renewables, hydro, wind, and solar power, that usually produce less, if not any, harmful chemicals into the atmosphere. So, of course, those are kind of the better ones. But for this slide and for this demonstration, we're going to be going over energy in terms of electricity. So, now on to the tips. Vampire energy. What is it? So vampire energy are devices that continue to use energy while plugged in, even when they're turned off. They suck your home's energy and end up racking up your energy bill if it gets too out of hand. These devices could be adding an extra 10% on your energy bill monthly. So these are going to be, so we'll go over some examples, but these are devices that are primarily plugged into your wall when they're not plugged into anything else. Now, the first tip. Unplug any unused electronics. This includes chargers such as phone, laptop, and etc. So actually, an iPhone charger that's plugged into the wall while still plugged into your phone at 100% takes up 2.24 watts. Now that's quite a lot as opposed to if it's 0. And then we also have, if it's just regularly staying in there, which gets you about 0.24 watts. Now, I know that doesn't seem like that much. However, it does actually end up adding up in the long run. That's how you're going to get to that 10%. Coffee machines. Usually, if you have a coffee machine at home that runs at, let's say, 10 a.m., you set it at 10 a.m., it is going to keep using electricity even if you already have it turned off. Toaster ovens. Lamps, and some people might not know this, but actually game consoles as well. So if you have a game console plugged in, or really anything, as I said, plugged in, it's taking up electricity. And televisions. Televisions are the big ones. This actually, I will say, was something that definitely surprised me, myself. They use up electricity, and they use up quite a bit. So it might be useful to unplug all that. Now, I will say, it might not be that beneficial for you to use and just unplug everything, which is why you should use a power strip, which is tip number 2. So with all that unplugging, it might be a little bit too much. 5 devices are easier when they're plugged into a power strip, which is what I'm talking about right now, where all you gotta do is simply flip a switch with the power strip to turn it off. This would cut energy to all of the device is plugged in, therefore stopping the vampire energy and making it easier for you to reduce your bill and your energy use. It's quite simple. I use these in college myself, actually, so they're nice. Now, it's on to lighting. So we got a nice incandescent bulb right next to a nice greener bulb over there, but use your windows. So windows allow natural light to come in, and you don't need to have your lights on while you have some light coming on from the natural world. They also are known to improve mood, productivity, and overall well-being among people. So if you're working in an office, let's say, if you don't have windows, it's going to kind of be a little bit difficult on you, as it makes it a little bit harder to focus. Whereas if you got windows, you got something nice out there, open them up, let the light out. Consider switching to LED lights. This is tip number 4. So LEDs use up to 66% less energy than traditional bulbs, and the average incandescent light uses 60 watts to an LED's 15, or even I've seen some that are 8.5 watts. Now that can add up to quite a chunk of change, and Duke Energy, which I'll be going over later in this, actually allows you to order free LED lights if you're a customer of theirs. So that's a definite bonus. Another tip, tip 5, is turn off your lights when not in use or leaving a room. So a good rule of thumb for this is to, when you're leaving, ask yourself, am I going to be coming back here? Am I going to get snacks from the kitchen, or am I going to go to sleep? If the answer is you're going to sleep or you're going to be gone for more than an hour, then you probably want to turn off the lights. That's going to save you a lot of energy. So let's consider those last 2 tips. If you're using a 60-watt incandescent light, and you're using, let's say, 5 lights, for an hour that racks up to about 300 watts. If switching these to LED lights at 15 watts, only 75 watts are used. Now that's a 225 watt difference. So let's say you're leaving to make dinner for a couple hours, or you're going to go and rest in another room, and you leave those lights on for 3 hours. Using incandescent lights, that would be up to 900 watts. If you switched up to LED lights, that would only be 225 watts, and you could save 675 watts. Now, it's easy enough to save all these watts by simply turning off the lights. So, I mean, it definitely, oh no, I can tell you how many times when I was younger, forgot to turn off the lights. My parents yelled at me, and I've learned, and this definitely helps reinforce that. But now on to clothes washing. So, wash your clothes with cold water. This is a very important tip. So if you wash your clothes with hot water, it actually takes up to 90% of the energy to run the washer, just to heat up the water in order to use it for your clothes. I mean, if you have a certain stains that you want to get up, then it might be best to turn up the hot water. However, even reducing the hot water to warm reduces the energy by half. And this, by washing your clothes with cold water, you save and reduce even more energy. And that's really quite great. You're going to dry your clothes anyways, so it shouldn't really be too negative. Next tip is to hang dry your clothes. So this is from the simple thing of reducing the energy of using a dryer. Dryers use quite a bit of energy just to run in order to dry your clothes. By hang drying them, you avoid the whole process of having to go through using a dryer. And our next tip is to only run the washer when you have a full load. So this avoids the unnecessary waste of water, and that way then you can just wait until you have a full load of laundry ready to go. That way then you can fully use that. You know what to worry. I mean, the average washer uses between 300 and 500 watts of energy between every wash. So by just washing your single favorite shirt in the laundry all by itself, you're wasting about 300 to 500 watts of energy. I mean, you could easily wait a little bit longer just to wash it with everything else. All right, next we have bathroom tips. Yes, I know. Tip number 9 is install low flow shower heads. Now, this will reduce the amount of, I emphasize, this should reduce the amount of water you use for your showers. Low flow shower heads can use less than 2.5 gallons per minute, as opposed to other shower heads which can use 5.5 gallons per minute. Now, I should say that more recent, I believe it was 10 years. Within 10 years, low flow shower, your shower should be a little bit low flow shower head. However, a good way to test if you could benefit from a low flow shower head is to put a bucket with gallon increments under your shower head. Run the shower and time how long it takes to get to 1 gallon. If it takes less than 20 seconds, it may benefit you to install a low flow shower head. So that's definitely a good rule of thumb to go by, and I highly recommend that. Next, on to tip number 10, long showers. So I don't know how long you guys shower, not opening that up for questions, but I know I kind of take a little bit of long showers. So try taking a shower within the time of one song. As stated, showers can range from using 5.5 to 2.5 gallons per minute. If you take long showers normally, this will help you, as I've been saying, reduce the water you use. Now, I mean, there's some songs that maybe you don't want to do, such as Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, which I believe is like 6 to 7 minutes long, but usually 3 to 4 minutes, go with that. All right, tip number 11, turn off the water when brushing your teeth. It's a quick, simple, and easy tip to do. Just by turning off the water faucet, you save water there. And I mean, while it doesn't seem like that big a deal, I should say for every of this, while it doesn't seem like that big a deal right now, all those times actually add up to your energy use and to your water use. So it's a good idea to start with these habits now. Next, onto dishes. So wash the dishes in the dishwasher. I know it's kind of a common thing. What should I do? Should I wash dishes in the dishwasher or wash dishes in the sink? They might use the same water. However, dishes in the dishwasher should save more water than washing dishes by hand. But I will say, if your dishwasher is especially old, it might be better to wash dishes by hand. You should check your models to see how old they are. Now, a standard size Energy Star certified dishwasher would only cost about $35 per year actually to run. So this goes to show how great we've come in terms of using our energy with our various appliances. Energy Stars appliances make sure that they are more energy efficient than standard appliances, and they all make sure that they check off all the boxes before certifying them that way. Next, we have tip number 13. Only run the dishwasher with a full load. Now, this also goes with tip number 14. Let the dishes air dry. This is pretty much just like the clothes washers. This will save water and energy by avoiding using the air drying avoiding using the heating function. With the dishes, you avoid unnecessary energy use with the dishwasher. And by only running the dishwasher with a full load, you thereby reduce the amount of water that you're using. So, I mean, as I said with your favorite shirt, you don't need to wash your favorite bowl every time. It might actually even be better if you only have a small load to maybe wash it with the hand sink. And avoid pre-rinsing. So if you're using your dishwasher, it's a good idea to not rinse your dishes before putting them in the dishwasher. While, yes, it might seem like a good idea, most dishwashers made in the past 10 years are strong enough to get that food off. I know back in my home, actually, we have one that's about 9 years, and it does a great job at that. After learning this tip, I didn't do it, and the dishes came out nice and good. So just a little bit of a personal tip. Next, we got heating and cooling. So this is just a small one, but match your indoor temperature to the outdoor temperature. So you can actually save energy by adjusting your thermostat to as close as comfortably possible for you to match the outdoor temperature. The smaller the difference, just that smaller difference, the more energy that can be saved. So for example, in the winter, set your thermostat to about 68 degrees while you're awake and lower when you're gone or you're asleep. And in the summer, try setting your thermostat to 78 degrees and raising the temperature when you're leaving. That way then you don't burn up or anything. But this should definitely help you save energy, as I know heating and cooling temperature or expenses can be great. Next, so these aren't really tips, but these are more resources that you can use with your power and energy companies. So various power and energy companies will provide services and products for their customers to help them reduce their use. So I looked at the two main ones in Indianapolis, IPL and Duke Energy, and looked at them. So IPL, they offer free energy efficiency assessments done by IPL. So they'll come to your home and they'll check out all throughout your home, see where you might be able to save money by implementing, let's say, insulation into your home to reduce airflow or various other things. I will say that they do have, because they have somebody come to your home, this isn't a good option for right now. However, in the future, this option will probably be more open. The next thing is that they offer free energy saving kits with easy to install products and tips to save you money. So you can easily just use the products with that, easily install them and save yourself the money. And also IPL, as well as other power agencies, offer plenty of rebates and discounts on energy saving products. They're offered in the stores and such. So when that comes to LED lights for IPL, they offer, I believe, I don't know the exact number, but I do know that they offer rebates on that. Next, we have Duke Energy. So Duke Energy, much like IPL, offers free home energy report to provide various tips on how you can save energy in your home. They offer free LED lights if you qualify. So if you're a customer and if you qualify, you can get some free LED lights from them. That's great. And much like IPL, they offer plenty of rebates and discounts on energy saving products that are offered. So that's, I don't know, that's quite a good deal. And as I said, it's just like many other energy companies. Now, onto energy company and renewable resources. So what you can do is, as I said, these aren't energy saving tips, but these are certainly energy tips. You can ask your energy company for renewable resources. So most of them will offer a renewable energy option for just a little bit more than what you usually pay. And by having that, you actually are able to offset your own use. So you might buy, let's say, $30 of wind energy. While you might not be getting $30 of wind energy, you are actually purchasing $30 of wind energy to be sent somewhere else. And this is a great way to be environmentally friendly. And as I said, offsetting your own use. Now, let's look at IPL's green power option. So IPL has a green power option that allows you to specify part or all of your monthly electricity use to be generated by an environmentally friendly renewable resource. You can choose to 25%, 50%, or even 100% to go with the green option. This is quite a great deal because you get to choose with that, and you can also get to choose your own renewable resource. So, yeah. Next, oh, and I should say that the current green power premium is $0.001 per kilowatt hour enrolled and represents the renewable energy credits purchased from Midwestern wind farms. A typical residential customer using 1,000 kilowatt hours per month enrolled at the 100% level would only pay an additional $1 on their IPL electric bill. So I highly recommend this. This seems like a great deal. Next, we have Duke Energy. So Duke Energy has a Go Green option. So you can purchase a minimum of 2 100 kilowatt hour blocks of green power for just $1.80 a month. There's no maximum, so you can purchase as much as you want to offset your own electricity use. However, I will say you have to purchase the minimum of 2 100 kilowatt hours. However, $1.80 for a month just to get renewable energy is a great deal. And now on to other power companies. As stated earlier, other companies are likely to have their own options. So you can call into your electricity provider or even check their website to see what options they have and what offers will be best available for you. This also goes for in general products as well. So while I looked at IPL and Duke Energy, if let's say you live in Chicago, Los Angeles, or you're coming from anywhere else and you're viewing this, you can call into your electricity provider and see what products and services they'll offer to you. They're really quite great in that sense of trying to help you reduce your own energy use. And next, we're already there in conclusion. So there are plenty of takeaways you can take from this to be an energy saver at home and to be a real energy challenge star. Some of the things you can do are easy. You can unplug things that aren't used. However, others might be tougher, such as planting a tree at your home. So that kind of goes with cooling. If you plant, I will say this, it's a small little tip. If you plant a tree in front of your windows, that helps with passive heating as it shades over your window during the summertime, prevents heat. And then also in the wintertime, all the shade's gone down, and you're able to absorb more heat in. So it's a little tip. And this should help you reduce your energy usage further. To keep it up, and maybe use these tips to help further your reduction. Why does this matter though? This matters because energy is a very important concept when it comes to sustainability. If we don't change our habits to reduce energy usage, then it will be that much harder to convert to renewables, along with fostering better sustainable practices. Whew. So now that that's all out of the way, I'll open it up to questions. You can also reach out to us at our office email. So I'll open the board up to questions. Okay, so feel free to ask questions and I can answer them as best I can.
Can you just elaborate a bit or repeat on the issue of actually sourcing your energy from renewable sources? You said that you have the option to request that they're actually providing your energy from renewable resources for an additional cost?
Are you talking about Duke Energy?
Yeah, you had mentioned that, I think you mentioned that they both have some kind of program where you...
Yeah, so Duke Energy, so let's see, let's go over this.
So you pay a slight premium,
yes,
but then they will source your energy, or you said maybe it's not your energy, but
they
you're
will,
kind of buying.
So what they'll do is they actually, they source it out. So you might not be getting that. It depends
Right.
on where you
You're
are, I
just
believe.
pumping it into the grid kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more, what is it? It's more you purchase it and then they produce the energy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, I'd never heard that before. So you're basically saying, hey, I'm willing to pay a little bit more if you will, source the energy from these sources that may cost a little more. I understand that's not like the energy coming to my house, not how the grid works, but as a percent of your overall sourcing, I pay this premium and you'll source more from renewable sources.
Yeah.
And what was the deal with IPL? Do they have a similar thing?
IPL also has an option like that. So IPL and Duke Energy both have options that allow you to purchase out energy, and then they'll produce the equivalent for your total.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm on the green power option at 100%, and it costs me less than $1 a month to run my home on 100% renewable energy. And that's to kind of further explain, that's actually the power company purchasing RECs, renewable energy certificates, which are like legal offsets. So they fund the installation of the renewable energy somewhere else. The energy does stay local, but you legally get to stake the claim to the renewable aspect of that energy. So you can make the legal claim that your home or building or whatever is being run on renewable energy.
All right. So Miranda had a question asking about what programs am I most excited about for reducing energy use on campus? So, I mean, I would have to say the Energy Challenge, if that counts with you. I feel like it's a great program to reduce energy use by encouraging good behavior habits. So I should elaborate. Energy Challenge does a lot better with this in terms of we also do the same thing where we go about and offer various tips that they can use to help be better for energy. This primarily goes to the dorms and where they aren't really able to change as much in their homes because they're in campus dormitories. However, these still work with them. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Miranda.
Hey, Jonathan, awesome webinar. My brother had a quick question for you.
Okay.
Would different colors of LEDs use more power than others?
I do not know. I don't think so. I'm not well brushed up on that, I will say. I feel like they'll just use the same amount. However, I don't know. I apologize.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions, comments? Anybody have a favorite tip they learned? So they're usually same cost of energy regardless of the color. So yeah. Anybody learned anything new? Possibly? Yeah. Yeah, vampire energy usually adds about 10% to the energy bill. I will say that going off the vampire energy, I will say it's definitely good to use a power extension / cord. Not only does it act as a power extension, but it also definitely helps with the whole flipping of the switch. That's all I do in the morning. Flip off the switch, go to work.
Actually, can I ask a quick on the vampire energy? You mentioned toaster ovens used.
Yeah. So if you have, depending on what toaster oven you have, I believe there are some appliances that, let's say if they're old enough, they won't take up energy because they're not programmed like that. However, there are some where if they, let's say, if they are programmed to do certain things, then they can take up energy.
Okay. So maybe newer ones that have maybe like some computer functions in them that'll, all right.
Yes. Yeah. So, and also if they have a standby light as well. So really, if you see anything going on, like let's say you have a TV with a light on it to indicate that it is turned off, that is taking up power. So toaster ovens, especially appliances with standby clocks. So ovens, although I don't know if you're going to want to unplug your oven, but really if they have anything that's generating power, they're going to be using up that energy.
Like microwaves, obviously, would be.
Yeah, microwaves. I didn't really talk about those just because they're a little bit harder, I would say, to unplug.
More like an oven.
Yeah, especially if it's comes in attached. I mean, fridges and freezers, of course, they use it, but not really much you can do about that. It's kind of the point, but yeah. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, if that's it, then I will just say you can reach us. Let me go all the way to the end. You can reach us at office email, SustainND, office website, sustainability@IUPUI. You can find us at our social media. If you have any questions for me personally, you can email me. My email is there. We'll be posting this on YouTube as well. So if you want to check this out again, if you want to look at any of that, you can do so at IUPUI Sustainability. And that's about it. So thank you.
Are you in the IUPUI sustainability program? Is that?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm the energy intern for the IUPUI Office of Sustainability. So
Energy interns, you say?
yes. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. No problem.
Thanks.
Thank you all for coming.